I'm Stephanie Leak. Andrew Marvin has gotten a bunch of people on, and then he may hop in, he may not. And then Dylan spoke his piece last time. Okay, so we have Hilary Yang, the race director of the Mammoth race, on right now. And before I have her say too much, I'm going to introduce our other co-hosts that are helping us out here. So we have Kevin Goldberg. You have your own podcast. And then we have Izzy Campos-Janovick. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. So first time I tried to start the session, I left it. So what we were saying right before I tried to start, Hilary, you were saying that the Mammoth Race 200 just got released or approved, or tell us what's going on right now.
Yeah, like hot off the press as of a text message like an hour ago from Tim. So, I mean, I think we've been pretty transparent with the story and the journey of our permits, which we've been working on since last spring. But we basically were sort of at the point last month where we were allowed to open registration, but we were pending the Forest Service final approvals. And so we just officially got that today, and we should have that permit in hand in the next couple of days, but we are good to go. And I mean, this is a huge labor of love to even get to this point, because there's about 5 different permitting bodies, and the Eastern Sierra is a beautiful area that we all love, but also a beautiful area that there's a lot of land managers for. And so that's probably why there hasn't been a 200 miler there before. And so very, very exciting. We now have everything in place. We were confident that we did, but just there's nothing like getting that final yes to sort of feel like we can really launch into everything. And it's so exciting. Tim and I are he's actually out doing trail work right now with the Forest Service, getting permitted so that we can work on the trails ourselves with the Sawyer program. And, it's just a really cool chance to be able to give back to the Eastern Sierra as we build this thing. So yeah, that's the scoop. You guys get the scoop.
I love it. That's what West Plate did, was he started volunteering with the Foresters to get his race approved, just because when they know you're invested, and then you can help maintain, especially since there's so many regulations there.
Okay, yeah,
so congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's all credit to the relationship Tim's built with them over the last few years with Mammoth Trail Fest. And so, yeah, you're right. It all goes hand in hand. And I think showing that we want to be good stewards and contribute positively, and not just put on an event, but really show up and make it better. It's pretty awesome to get to do both.
Okay. So first of all, Andrew never comes prepared to these. I'm usually the one being prepared, but he kind of threw this on me, so I feel like I'm winging it, and I usually don't. But Andrew has sent me questions that he wants me to ask, and I don't think I'm going to get to all of these, but he wants to know what differentiates the Mammoth in the now exploding 200-mile landscape. What makes this race different from the others?
Great question. I mean, obviously there's nothing like this in the Eastern Sierra, and the land itself plays a huge role in this. Being able to put on a single loop course that circumnavigates the whole caldera, traversing through all the volcanoes, it's just a really cool area. And so, I mean, if I think of signing up for a 200-mile race, I want a course that inspires me and that I get to see places that are different. It gets super remote in the Glass Mountains, nobody goes out there. And so I think for us, it was just we're inspired by the idea of exposing people to more of the Eastern Sierra. And then the other cool thing is we're the new kids on the block, but also because of Trail Fest and the community that Tim's built and that I've been involved in over the last few years, it feels like it's a cool fit. It's sort of we're expanding the Trail Fest universe and being able to sort of move into some of these longer distance races, but with a really cool community involved. And so that's, I mean, I believe that sets us apart, because I think we can put on a really, really great event from year one, and Kevin, I know you're signed up and you're taking a shot on us, and you and your wife both, right? On your honeymoon?
Yeah, we're signed up on our not our honeymoon. Well, maybe it can be a second honeymoon,
right?
Anniversary. It'll be our 11-year anniversary.
Oh, okay, not your honeymoon. Yeah, but that's amazing. Yeah.
I've never done an inaugural event. So I'm excited. I usually stay away from them, but I'm confident in you and confident in Tim, and I'm stoked to get out there. So is Melanie.
Yeah, I mean, I think totally. We've heard from people that are like, inaugural year, and other people that are like, they want to do it because an inaugural year. And I think it is fun because we're all going to learn a little bit together. But also, we had Sally McRae out there running it last year during the Mammoth or during the Trail Fest because we wanted to sort of see what it looks like to put it all together. And so we did get a really cool proof of concept. There's a YouTube video on that if you guys are interested in watching Sally's journey with the Mammoth 200. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, I think I come into this with a lot of 200s experience, and so I feel confident I can bring all that in. But yeah, it's gonna be a ride.
Sorry, my dog is like chasing her tail, and she's never done this before, so she's making tons of noise. So I have to keep muting. I love the concept of one loop, and I love the concept of a course that was created because it's beautiful versus just like doing small loops around something, or like whenever you can go and run something. I've said this so many times. You can run something that's a creation of like a race director's like concept that they created. It's like, honoring their craft. Okay, so how did the $2,000 cash prize pool come about?
And
$20,000 cash pool prize.
$20,000.
Yes.
First 200 prize money.
Yeah, and we're coming in hot. And that was it's honestly a leap of faith for Tim and I. It's like not coming out of a sponsor pool or anything. It's coming out of our own pockets. And I think just being athletes and seeing how much goes into these races, I just feel like we should be honoring everyone's time who shows up to run these things. And especially as live streams get bigger and we invest a lot more in the stories around these races, like we should also be acknowledging the work it takes to get to the start line. Like you look at Cocodona and both winners are unsponsored athletes, Dan Green and Rachel Entrekin. And, $5,000 for the top male and female, $3,000 for second, $2,000 for third place. Not only are we hoping to create an exciting race, because honestly, there's a little bit more motivation to get to that finish line in the top three, but also it's more just honestly to support the athletes and sort of like they are our artists, and it's just us really wanting to show from day one that we value them coming out and being part of this experience. So yeah, we're just sort of going for it. And then we'll figure it out later. But between that and the live stream, we are really coming in with the intention of what we want to create from day one. And we want to like give that to everybody and not sort of like have a 3 or 5 year plan of where we want to be. We want to just sort of come in at that level. So yeah.
I would like to
prize
note
money.
Equal pay right there. Like the women are going to be getting the same prize money as the men.
Absolutely. It's our female and our male podiums.
Yes. I love
Some
it.
big names up there too. Checking out the entrance list is going to be spicy one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Timmy Olsen making his 200-mile debut, which I'm really excited about as, someone that's been in the sport for over a decade. Like, he was one of the names that I used to follow and love. And Tara Dower making her 200-mile debut on the women's side, which is huge and really exciting. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen out there. And I think it's going to be a fairly runnable course other than the fact that it's all around 8,000 feet or a little higher. So
Hilary, we had Finn Mellinson on our podcast, and one of the questions we asked him was winning times for the Mammoth this year. So I'm curious if you want to take the over or the under on Finn's predictions. He said 47 hours for the men's field and 49 hours for the women's field.
If he's saying that, I might have to revise my aid station predictions. That's interesting. Tim and I are very curious. We are currently projecting sort of low 50s for that winning time, which would be like the Sunday afternoon. But we definitely are aware that it could run faster, and I think it's really going to be like you get into the Glass Mountains and there's a bit more of that like softer, gravelier terrain in there. And obviously like you end the race going up Mammoth Mountain again, up to like 11,000 feet. So it's just sort of a matter of like how that all plays out with the cumulative fatigue. But I definitely could see it running as fast as like 50 or just below 50. That's a bold move. I'm like, man, Finn throwing down.
Are there going to be any
I think
sleeping
he's
with
thinking
those
he's going to be in
times?
there.
I mean, after his performance at Cocodona, Finn should be like gunning for that podium. I'd be disappointed if he wasn't. So, and that's also really exciting too. I think there's a lot of people running that are just on the verge of that sort of breakout performance, and so someone like Finn is a perfect example of that. Cool.
Well, my plan's not to sleep at Mammoth. Just throwing that out
no
there.
sleeping, huh?
Yeah. If I can do what I want to do, I think I can just make it.
It's such a gamble, isn't it? Like Sally didn't sleep when she did it, but I do know that she was really tired on the last day. And so I don't know, you might, and even at Cocodona, what was the guy that came in? He was the fast packer. He came in maybe 6th or 7th. There was one of the guys at Cocodona that was trying to do it DJ with no sleep. And when I like talked to him on the course, he was like, no sleep till flag. And then when I saw him at the finish, it was like, no, I stopped and slept because I was delusional. So, I think it's a good plan, Kevin. I love that for you. And we'll chat at the finish line about how that worked out.
Are there going to be parks on the course that have basketball hoops?
Not really. No. Yeah, we could maybe set up a little like trailside hoops for you. Could talk to someone about that. Yeah, there is like a community park near Crowley that the aid station's at. So I will have to go and check if there's a hoop there. You might get an early hoop.
Are you and your wife running it together? Like together?
I don't think our plan is to stay together. Okay. We want to stay married after the event.
You want to stay together.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
So she has a plan to probably sleep.
Yeah, well, she wants to beat me, so maybe.
I'm rooting for the wife. I don't even know her, but I'm rooting for the wife.
Go, Melanie.
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I basically don't sleep at Cocodona, not by choice. So I'm trying to say if I can go a little faster. I haven't run a 200 in a while. Is it 208?
208.
Yeah, so that's nothing.
Civilized.
What world are we in? Who am I among? 208, that's nothing.
Like 100 milers literally are like, oh, so I'm only doing 100 miler. I'm like, what? Like,
where did we come from? But it is true. Like the 200 is just, Andrew was saying last night that someone made a list and you could run a 200 every week because there's so many 200s like on the calendar now. And I think that's just like mind-boggling to think how far we've come. I have not ran one. I'm still sticking to the 100-mile distance. It hasn't called me yet, but we'll see eventually.
They're fun to be part of, like whether you're volunteering or crewing or like the sacrificial lamb running, like it's fun to be part of on many levels. And I think like that's what my takeaway always is, like whatever role I'm playing, I love being out there and seeing people do this stuff.
I crewed a lot and paced at Tahoe, and I liked having all the day shifts. So I got like 60 miles in, but like I went to sleep in a bed every night and someone else took over. Like I didn't even crew overnight. Like I went and slept in a bed and then the next morning paced, and it was amazing, but that is not like what a true 200 is. So we'll see. Okay, so he says, what are the logistics of it at all? Especially being a first-time RD, but you were saying that y'all do Mammoth race, the trail festival. So you've already kind of RD'd. It's just a first-time 200-miler RD.
Yeah, and I do come from a background of working with the Destination Trail 200s and was involved in like a dozen of those. And so I have a fair amount of experience on these courses. But yeah, and Mammoth Trail Fest, the races are shorter. There's a vertical, a 26K and a 50K. So they're very much in the one day, a few hours realm of things, but managing volunteers, all that stuff. The cool thing about Trail Fest and the Mammoth is that everything's based out of Mammoth Lakes, the village. And we have a great relationship with Mammoth Mountain. They're so on board for this. They were like actually up at the top of the summit of Mammoth Mountain last year with us when Sally was finishing her route and like cheering everyone on, and they kept the gondola open for us, which was really sweet. Unfortunately, you guys will have to run down the mountain to the village, but it's worth it. But it's just a cool area because you can be based out of Mammoth Lakes and your crew and everyone can be like sleeping in a bed in the village, and the furthest that you have to go to one of the aid stations on the course is about like a 75-minute drive from Mammoth Lakes. So it's sort of like spokes on a wheel, like you're going out in different directions, but it's pretty civilized as far as like some of these routes go where there's like hours of driving. And so that's sort of our hope. We're going to have like the live stream set up in the village with a hangout zone for everybody during the week so that you can just like be there, know where your runner's at, keep an eye on them, and then like have a pretty good idea of like how long it's going to take you to get up to the aid stations. So yeah, I think that'll make it fun.
That is nice for crew. Like that's really nice because then you don't have to stress about like who your crew is and whether they can get around from spot to spot. So that's really convenient.
And there's like pretty much all the aid stations are like accessible. You don't need a crazy vehicle to get to them or anything like that too. And there's only a couple spots on the course that are not going to be like crew access aid stations. So yeah, I mean, we really see it like we've got 17 or 18 aid stations. So we're pretty stocked on aid stations too, and just trying to make it really I think a place where people feel like they can dip their toes into the 200-mile distance. And I wouldn't say it's like easy because running 200 miles could never be easy, but accessible.
So do y'all have the cutoff already posted?
110 hours.
Oh, that's good too.
Generous.
Yes, very generous. That's good for first timers. Okay, so do you look to anyone for guidance, any inspiration to help prepare for being an RD?
Honestly, that's a good question. I really admire Tim. I really admire what he's built from the ground up with Trailfest. He's a good leader and someone I've learned a lot from. And I would say like we're co-directing this first year of the Mammoth together, and it's really a great dynamic. And so I can really lean on him for some of the different conversations we're having and just making sure that we're getting everything. But you know, like there's so many awesome race directors in the sport, and I've called a bunch of them up and just picked their brains, and you know, all of them have been really generous with their time. I mean, even Jamil at Aravaipa has been so like encouraging and supportive, and so yeah, I feel lucky. It's such a great space, the trail community, and we're really trying to lean into the community and the fact that we can help grow it and make it better. And you know, you can always look at new events that come in and be like, oh, are they, you know, like how many events can we sustain in the space? Like you mentioned, there's a lot of 200 milers coming up, but I think I approach it with the idea that like, I'm excited to see people pursuing things, and we're going to make the sport like more accessible and have more opportunities for people to be part of it. And that's awesome.
Do you have a cap at how many runners you can have?
Yeah, I think we'll intentionally start around 200 this year. We don't want to go too crazy. Mm-hmm. We have some flexibility, but that feels like a good number for us.
And
do you anticipate it getting to that 200 mark?
I think so, yeah. I think we had a rough start because there was so much excitement, and we basically, our wait list was over that within the first week in January. And then because we couldn't officially move people off the wait list till May, there's always that like people have found other things, or you know, now it's May and it seems a little scarier to run a 200 miler in September. But I think now that we're open, we're over 100, and we're, you know, like lots of people sort of coming in, and I think the remaining question we were getting was on the permits. And so now that we're able to say like 100%, even though we knew we were good, now we can say that's in place. And so I think we'll be able to get there, and that'll be awesome for year one. It's great.
Well,
like we're so stoked. Yeah.
Well, I've heard a lot of buzz around it. And so that's the fact that y'all have that many people signed up without like the permits being official. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then you have any of the races, like if people DNF any 200s over the summer, you know, they'll want a redemption race. So I think you have a fair chance of getting up to 200 if you're already here without the permits being official. Izzy, do you have a question before I go on to his next list?
Yeah, sure. I'll ask a couple. Big Hilary fan, always have been, of your amazing photography. Very talented. And I absolutely loved all the projects you launched last year, especially, you know, trying to get more women out there. So with that being said, with your other side project and your foundation, do you have certain initiatives or goals to increase the female participation for the 200s in your race in general?
Yes, great question. Absolutely. I mean, I would say so far our approach has been to like really intentionally invite more women into the starting field that we want there. Like Callie Vinson's running, Jackie Hunt Boersma's running, Tara Dower, Chrissy Harklow. Like we've got Katra Corbett, who's a
She lives right there.
Lives right there. Could not have her there. And so we've gone out of our way to like make sure these women can make it, to make sure that they're like we're supporting them. And so like I think that attitude is just going to like help other women feel like they can jump in too. So from the ground up, just like whatever ways we can to, like obviously all the aid stations will have all the things and like we'll kind of think through all those details, but it's very like front of mind to me is like how we make this feel good for more women to come into 200s.
Well, if you're looking at your numbers, like I'm pretty impressed. Like 37 of the 119 are females, which is really impressive because I feel like the 200 numbers are usually the percentage is lower. So that's awesome.
Sweet. And counting. Come on, ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So have you considered highlighting more stories on the female runners that are more like in the BIPOC or the Masters division? Because man, there are some badass ladies out there.
Totally. I mean, we have a couple ideas for sort of stories that we want to tell outside of the live stream. And then obviously we have the live stream that'll tell the front of the pack stories, but also follow like different people that are just crushing and doing cool things. And so that's, like I said, Jackie and Callie, I'm both huge fans of theirs and they both have amazing communities. And so being able to sort of bring in communities and then make them feel really supported. Sophia Flores is also joining us, and she's actually a local native of Mammoth, and she does a ballet flamenco performance with her troupe at Mammoth Trail Fest and is very involved in the like arts and creative community. And so she's running the 200, and we're just sort of trying to find different people that can help share their story and sort of be an example. And I think like that's how you grow more women in the sport, is to show examples of women doing really cool things. And so in every way we want to do that.
Are you allowed to say if you're going to do anything like fun documentary similar to The Chase, or are you keeping that on the wraps?
Oh, we have a bunch of projects. This wouldn't be a race that I'm involved in if the media wasn't part of it. So there's definitely some fun things cooking.
Cool.
Yeah. What else you got?
Well, I just was asking a question, then I went to fact check something. So usually I'm the fact checker, but
now you're doing both.
I've got one for you.
Yeah, Kevin, go.
Yeah. So I was talking to a friend recently who said she got an invite to the Mammoth. So I'm curious to hear. I feel like I have a little bit of a idea of how Cocodona goes about creating that competitive field and like, what they want that competitive field to look like. So what are you and Tim doing to like, obviously there's some huge names in there already, but like how active of a project is that versus passive? Like, are you out there like seeking out people you want to run the Mammoth?
Not really. That's a good question. And like those conversations happened back in like November, December. Just was sort of like, as we were getting this thing off the ground, like finding those people that are like, yeah, we'll put this on the calendar. We'll take a shot on you guys, sort of understanding where we were with it. And then from there, it's mostly just being word of mouth, just like people that are stoked on it and want to reach out. But like for the most part, we're just letting it all happen organically. And the, field is getting more competitive just through people wanting to be part of it. And that's cool. I would say if anything, we've really prioritized like making sure there's some cool women out there. And so that's been our sort of focus. And I think we've got an awesome field on both sides. So yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Rachel Entrican. The one that won Cocodona. We had her on. She wants to do Mammoth, but I don't see her name on the registration list. So like there's another woman. And then I want to say Andrew, I thought he said he was waitlisted or he was signed up or something. His name's not on the list. So he wants to do that, to do it as well. So I feel like now that you have the permits over the next couple days, like, the numbers.
I don't want to disclose everything, but Rachel knows where we are, and so we hope to hear from her. No, I mean, I know, again, because this is coming out in May, I think it's a matter of, everyone juggling schedules to make sure they can do things. But yeah, it is fun to be able to have these conversations and get as many people out as possible. So that's all I'll say about that right now.
That was a good episode, by the way, guys. I liked that one with Rachel.
Can you believe that? Like, that she's has imposter syndrome and she just broke the course record? I'm like, this is crazy.
She was unflappable. She's a really cool girl.
oh, I loved it. Definitely.
Kevin, your Finn episode was really good too. I listened to that one today. So.
Awesome. Thanks. I thought about having Rachel on again. We haven't really done repeat guests. It's always hard to juggle. Like, we had Rachel on when she won Cocodona last year, and she's awesome. And I was like, God, it's just hard. There's so many stories to tell. And I feel like repeating is not yet in our repertoire.
Yeah.
We repeat guests, but Andrew and I battle between, he wants well-known people and I want local people. I want the mother of 5 that shows you that you can do it with a full-time job and be in so Andrew and I always battle it out, and then but he is better at asking people to come on. So if there is someone that's more popular, I'm like, hey, will you go reach out to them? So our third co-host on the last episode announced that he's stepping down from coming on hosting. He's going to just do the production behind the scenes, which is it's sad because we've done this for so long, and I feel like we're entering a new transition with having 3 hosts, and then now here I am by myself with new friends.
Holding down the fort.
Yeah.
No, as I start and say, I'm going to record, leave the session.
Hey, you bring up a good point, though, for another question. The mother of 5. So, it's great that you guys are doing the money for the elite athletes. I think that's incredible, and I'm super excited to watch that. But do you have any ideas for the future about unrepresented communities? I know Broken Arrow started that initiative this year where they're doing travel stipends for certain runners or scholarships. And then I think I just saw on Strava, they did some scholarship for childcare. I'm like, wow, these things are super cool. So anything like that in the near future, this year or next year?
That's awesome. I mean, probably at this point, that'll be a next year thing as we grow. But I love that, Izzy. And that's, that's mine and Tim's heart, is to find all the ways to make it possible for everybody. And so I know we've talked extensively about some of these things, and that's why we've sort of invited a few people from the local community who are just entrenched in their, tried to find people like that. But I think we definitely are looking for, like you said, athletes we could help support to bring them out and make sure that they could get to the start line and stuff like that. So I think as we grow, that'll be the sort of thing where just sort of thinking it through off the top of my head, maybe having some sort of an application form people can fill out and let them know about us, what they would want out of the experience, what they're looking for, that type of thing. But yeah, I think that's a huge part of growing the sport, and it's cool to be in a position where we can offer that,
Yeah, especially for the 200s, if you think about it, the travel and the logistics.
It's a lot.
Especially if you have the crew coming with you, and yeah.
It's a big commitment. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, but at least they can have a central location, so you can just plant your crew in one Airbnb.
Or camping.
Yeah. There's a range of options for accommodation, from camping to Mammoth has actually offered us a 20% discount off of all of their associated lodging in the village, which is really cool. And so we've kind of got a little range of things to suit everybody's needs, hopefully. But I mean, I car camped the whole time at Cocodona and was on the broadcast. And then I would crawl into my car in the rain and then get up and, so I am a testament to someone that often just shows up at things and just makes it work. And I think, Mammoth is cool for that, because there is a ton of camping and other options. And it's, you're September in the Sierra, it's the peak of fall sunshine. So unless we I don't know. I thought that going to Cocodona as I was in Arizona in May, and I haven't been that cold in a long time. So, but historically, we've always had really good weather at the end of September in Mammoth. So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so the next questions. I don't know what these mean. So I don't know what Andrew's setting me up, like if he's baiting me. He said, Izzy, can I be the the mascot?
He's asking me?
Yes.
Oh, is that because I have a bear
I have
onesie?
no idea.
Oh, I mean, I have a bear onesie that I wore at like Tahoe Finish Line. It's really warm. But now I have the sleeping bag onesie. I got that idea from Anastasia. You know that sleeping bag?
Oh, she loves that thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When it's cold at night and you're at an aid station, you could have used that at Cocodona this year. Yeah, I don't know exactly what he's asking, but if he wants to borrow my outfit, like.
Oh my goodness. This is what I'm saying. This is what he sets me up. This is why, like, our third member of our podcast was always like neutral and kept us grounded. But between me and Andrew, like, we're so opposite. Okay, so he said, I don't know what this means either. He said, for Kevin, is he empty yet?
Oh,
because your podcast name, Distance to Empty.
Yeah, it's because our podcast it's empty. I mean, I'll do my best Bruce Banner and be that my secret is I've always been empty.
Oh.
No, but no, the real answer is absolutely not. That's why I'm doing the Mammoth and I feel like I'm really excited because it's my first time doing a new 200 since 2021, and I'm excited to not have like the ghost of me out on that course. I won't know every rock, every turn. So I feel like I'm the opposite of empty. I'm feeling very full lately.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, and I would ask you, Kevin, too, having just come off of Cocodona, do you feel like it's a good amount of time? Like, do you feel like you'll be sort of like ready to go and that gives you like a decent amount of time? Because you've done like crazy, like you did the Triple Crown, right? And you've done these sort of like back-to-back efforts on stuff.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And we sort of like in that recent episode with Finn, we discussed like if you want to be like competitive at these races or like race to your full potential, then like what is the limit of like how many you can do in a year and what the recovery time looks like. For me personally, coming off of Cocodona recently, it was a rough race for me, and there were certain governors that I had that were a bit out of my control. So I feel like recovery's gone smoother because of that. Like it was for example, it was my lowest average heart rate for a 200 ever. And because of that, I feel like I'm feeling back to normal faster than usual. So I'm feeling optimistic about being prepared for Mammoth. But if you had asked me that last year, I was still sort of wrecked at this point. And like it typically takes me longer to get back on track. And I think if you are looking to do two of these massive races that are, 2-3 days long, at your personal best, then it's tough to do more than one a year. You may still be able to compete against, be at the top of the field, but you might be leaving something on your personal table, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. It's something I think about too, because I even have like I do 100 miler a year. And that's just like all I have capacity to train for. And so I see people sign up for like the Grand Slam of 200s and like all this stuff. And I do wonder year over year, like I think there's always that like knee-jerk reaction. I'm like telling people not to sign up for 200s as I'm excited about a new 200. But I think it's an important conversation for us to have as far as longevity in the sport. And just I hope everyone does take the time to like think about what they're signing up for, be excited about it, and then give yourself a chance to celebrate it and do it in a sustainable way.
Has anyone registered for the Triple Crown at Trail Fest and the 200?
That's a good question. There's a couple people that switched from the Triple Crown of the Trail Fest, which is the weekend before. So the Mammoth 200 will start the following weekend so that we have a couple days to reset and recover. But so far, no one's doing both that I know of. I think it's kind of fun because it's like if you wanted to come out and acclimate, like your crew could run one of the shorter races, or you could volunteer and get some volunteer credits and then come around the 200 and just come and like hang out in the Eastern Sierra for a bit, which I know depends on jobs for a lot of people, but there is sort of like people could come for a little bit, if they wanted to.
So you're going to have volunteer credits to get like entries in the future, kind of like how the other races work. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And really
that's
cool
a note
swag.
to people. If you can't run it this year, volunteer. So next year you can run it.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely welcoming people to come out if you want to like check it out, just be part of it. I honestly think you learn way more being at an aid station and seeing, like how it's unfolding for people and what you're eating and what your feet look like and all this stuff. Like, it's a really great way to set yourself up for success.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing like how low people get and then seeing them later on in the race, like where, they got past that. Like
come back to life.
There's no way they're going to finish. And then, oh, wait. Yeah. It is possible.
That was the biggest thing my husband noticed. He's like, that person coming in the aid station, there's no way. They're done. And he's like, what? They came back from life.
Totally from the dead.
I do have to have a talk with him. He said he'd never crew a 200 for me anymore. But then I told him about Mammoth and he's like, because we love Mammoth. That's where I fell in love with mountain running. So it's really exciting. Now I'm like, gosh, do I do Trail Fest? Or do I do the 200? Decision.
Do the 200. Do the 200. It's a sign.
Make it 38 women.
Yes.
Yeah. Sign up right now while we're on this
I feel like you have to.
Press the green button.
No, I agree.
I would have a great story. I would eat a lot of Pop-Tarts for you. Carry my bear butt wipes.
Yes.
I have some good stories for you.
We love bear butt wipes. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Maybe that's what Andrew was talking about, the bear costume with the bear butt wipes. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows with that guy?
I couldn't deliver the way he would so that everyone can get his reference.
There'll be a postscript on the episode.
Yes, we're going to insert Andrew's commentary right now. We always say we're going to edit this and we never do. And Dylan's our publisher. So if he's not like on these podcasts, like, we'll see. We don't really edit anything. Which is why we are not professional. Just because we've been around for a while.
Makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I got another question. Hilary, how the heck are you balancing being a new race director, a photographer, a founder of a nonprofit, a podcaster, and training for Hard Rock 100? Like, did I miss any of your jobs? Did I get them all?
No, there's another big one in there that's happening right now. We're just starting to tease it out, but like, yeah, I got hit with that one and the Mammoth stuff opening on the same day while I was at Cocodona a few weeks ago, and everything, including my heart rate, went up.
Okay, wait. So what was the other thing? What's the other big thing?
It is I can't say too much yet, but it's a film project around Western states, potentially
about
with
Gabe
the women.
Peterson?
No, but Gabe is great and he's running the Mammoth. But no, I'm very excited to kind of be doing some storytelling around Western states this year as well. And that all kicked into High Drive as well. So yeah, I mean, I ran 50 miles on the Western States training camp course last weekend while filming because I had a couple birds to kill with one stone. So yeah, I'd say it's going great, but it's just really like going, and I'm hoping I can get through Hard Rock and then things will calm down slightly. But yeah, I mean, I love it. Like, honestly, Izzy, I was saying to my husband, Billy, it's busy, but I don't feel overwhelmed because it's all things that I love, and it's working with people that I really like enjoy working with. And I don't know, sometimes I've had times in life where I feel like I'm drowning. And I think right now I'm just really trying to be present and like show up and be organized and do my best, but also just like, what a privilege to get to pull all these things together and to do this stuff. And it's not lost on me. And I don't want to sort of be like, oh my God, I'm drowning under this. It's a season. And like, yeah, it's a busy season, but like, it's all really good things. And so I think that's just keeping me really sort of balanced. And, you know, it's keeping me, at least with Hard Rock, from overtraining. So there's that.
I love how you said you recommend like 100 miler a year, and then your 100 miler is Hard Rock. So, I mean, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
Like, I see where you're coming from now.
Well, that's the thing. The last few years, because I haven't really raced since like 2018 when I got into like the media side of things, because then I just started being at all these races but not getting to run them. But I would do hard rock qualifiers every 2 years. And so I would do like a really good doozy of 100-miler in the mountains. And then that would sort of be it. And so, yeah, that's been my thing. So I wasn't planning on getting into hard rock this year. I've been in the lottery for 8 years. And so I probably wouldn't have chosen this year knowing that it was going to be a busy year. But yeah.
But it's the year you got in.
It's the year I got in. So here we go.
Okay, so the last one. Is there any sense of relief knowing it was the Mammoth race was finally approved today? How does that change things going forward?
Yeah, a huge sense of relief. I mean, obviously these conversations have been going on for months and months and months. And I think just the feeling that now it's almost like we can put everyone else's minds at ease. I think Tim and I have sort of known where the conversations were going and felt really good about them. But like I think now just being able to sort of go like, no, like book your travel, book your hotels, like all of that stuff just feels really good to be able to have. And like for a first year event, it was certainly a challenging start to rolling it all out. It's not how we would have liked to in an ideal world. So I'm just like grateful that now we can sort of move ahead and not worry about that piece quite as much. Everything else is going to be easy now.
Yeah,
especially running it. That's the easy
right
part.
Yes. We'll ask you at the end. But yeah, I mean, I think for so much of it like this, now we're into the controllables. Now we're into the stuff that we have control over, and that's just like really, that's a good feeling for me. So yeah, but it's all part of it. I mean, anyone that's put one of these things on can tell you that the permits and the course are the biggest puzzle piece, and like we're just grateful to be sort of moving through the other side of that.
So Hilary, I have a question about the course itself. So at the risk, I don't want to I know this isn't Distance to Empty podcast, but we're known for doing our course previews for these 200s. Yeah. And with the new 200s, it's challenging because a lot of times Peter and I have our own, we've been on the course a lot ourselves. Who would you say is the person who has the best intel on the course itself? Is it you, Tim, Sally, someone else? Like who spent the most time on the ground or the most time poring over the maps? Like who's the course expert for the Mammoth 200?
Probably Tim would be the primary one because he's lived in the Eastern Sierra in the Mammoth area for so many years. And so, I mean, the two of us have spent hours poring over the course. Like we mentioned on our pod with you, Kevin, this was not the original route. Originally, it was going to be a point-to-point route that started in Lone Pine. And so we have, even that, there was a whole plan attached to that and a whole exploration and deep dive of that. And then I'm so thankful we ended up with our like loop course, because I actually think it's like a really cool experience and it ties it together way better. And so, but like just in full transparency, it's such a journey. And so there's a ton of work that goes in that you don't even see as far as looking at all these trails, looking at the viability, looking at like how they run. I think Sally being out there gave us a ton of feedback, and I paced Sally through the night for a couple of the nights, and we had Billy was out there for big chunks as well. Like we all covered a lot of miles out there, and Billy and Tim and I have some stories of trying to get out to some of the more remote places in the Glass Mountains, and we were like driving along these Forest Service roads that looked like they were in service, but then apparently were very decommissioned. And so we know this now for when we're giving crew directions, but trust us when we say follow the crew directions to the aid station and don't go rogue, because we ended up going down this like washed out trail. And at one point I thought like the Subaru was totally flipping over like down a ravine. It was like Billy was driving and 3 out of the 4 wheels were not on the ground as we're trying to like go around this like boulder, and just like there was no way up, there was no way down. So anyways, we've put in some hours, we've put in some time out there, and like I think looking at the course, I'm really proud of it, and that's really, really cool. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what people have to say about it, right? Like it's so wild to put these things together. And I think it moves through a lot of different geography, whether it's like the Ponderosa Pines, going up to the top of Mammoth Mountain with the 360-degree view at the beginning of the race. So you see everything you're going to go and do. And then again, at the end of the race, and you can turn around to look at everything you did. Yeah. One little kick in the pants. But just like so many different features. And then like, yeah, the obsidian rock over in the volcanic sections and the glass mountains and the tufas and Mono Lake. And yeah, it's cool. So, like I just always come back to the experience I want to have out there, and it should be an adventure. I honestly think like the fast packing world should get into 200s because it's sort of like a catered fast pack. And so, and a lot of people go to the Sierra to go fast packing. So I'm kind of hoping we can bring in like some new crowds of people into 200s through this and really just like, it's just a great adventure. And whether you're competing for a podium spot, like that's awesome. But I think just being out there and being able to experience it is like equally awesome and like such a like transformative thing, So yeah, we're hoping everyone gets something out of it.
Okay, Andrew's been sending me. I'm gonna filter some of the stuff he sent me.
Oh dear.
But the stuff I tell you, you're like, you didn't filter that, and I'm like, no, because the other stuff was worse. Okay, he said, ask Kevin if he accepts a duel between us at Mammoth, and if Izzy is willing to pace me to victory over him. Wait, and I told him, I said, Izzy's gonna run it, and he goes, winner gets control of the other person's podcast. And since you said you're trying not to sleep, my money's on you.
Okay, so first I think if Izzy doesn't run it, she should pace Melanie because she's trying to support. She's trying to support
the women.
Yeah,
here for the women's race.
The women race. Sorry, Andrew. I accept the challenge. I'd say yes to that challenge.
We're gonna get our ass kicked. You're gonna just take control over our podcast.
But
how about you guys record a podcast live at the end of the race and see who is more coherent?
Ooh, I like that.
Oh my
Without
God.
sleeping first.
Yeah.
Let's see how you do that, Kevin.
You're not allowed to sleep until you can sleep during the race, but once the race is over, no sleep till the podcast.
No sleep till podcast.
Yeah, I like that.
Kevin's gonna have his podcast published, edited out before Andrew even finishes. Like it'll be released like a week later. I'm just kidding. I love Andrew, but he is not a racer like for fast. And then he said, when I said Izzy may run it, he goes, run it with me, which I say if you don't run it, you pace Melanie. And then he said, ask Hilary if she will let me do a makeup interview after the Mammoth, which I think you should totally do just to like debrief.
Like a recap.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. I'll commit to that. He finishes the Mammoth. We'll do a part 2 and a debrief.
I like that. So we had Candace on about Arizona Monster last night. He asked her to grade herself on the race on a scale of 1 to 10. I was like, Andrew, that is an asshole question. Like,
what did she say?
She said, so first of all, it was one of the best episodes because she was honest about everything. She was like, she brought up stuff. She was down to earth. So I was like, we talked about controversial stuff. And then, but she said 6 to 7 and she wants to get to 9 or 10. But she said, retrospect, when you're finished with an inaugural race and you look back, there's all these things you think you can do better when you look back, like after stuff, comes up. But that's the sport, is that stuff comes up, you pivot, you change. So race directing has got to be the same. There's going to be something that you didn't predict happens and, we overcome it. But still, I was like, Andrew, that is such an asshole question. So I will.
You can ask me that afterwards. Bring it on.
Yeah. Well, just to circle back to the makeup podcast after the Mammoth, it'll actually be up to me at that point.
Oh,
because I'll be in control, right? I mean, that's the rules, right?
Is Peter going to be there? Your co-host?
I'll think about it. Peter can't make the Mammoth. He's got a work trip that week.
Oh man.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we always end our podcast with like, I can't let it go. So something that's on your mind, something you can't let go. So I'm going to start with Andrews, and it says, "My can't let it go is not being allowed to join this fucking episode. Be sure to say that." And then I can't let it go. I don't even know. It has been a whirlwind since school let out last week. I did Cruel Jewel, went right back to work on Monday, adopted a dog. Here she is.
Aw.
She's a new, but she loves you.
Yes, I've had her for a week.
Oh, she's
I
podcasting.
know. So, and then we've just been podcasting a lot because Andrew like overbooked us. And I had all my doctor's appointments because you don't do anything during the school year. And then afterwards you're like dentist, checkups, all that stuff. So it's just been a crazy week and I'm ready for things to settle. But we have a race this weekend that's like 48-hour, like local fat ass where everyone, and I'm going to just go drink beer and mock the people that are, that are running in the heat. So I got all my runs in this week already. So that's my can't let it go. Kevin, do you want to share what you can't let go? It doesn't have to be running related.
Oh boy. I can't let go that yesterday I accidentally scared 4 baby robins out of the nest a little early and my dogs were in the yard and it was 30 minutes of complete chaos. I think all of the robins are safe and still alive, but haven't stopped thinking about that. Not 30 minutes of chaos, 30 seconds of chaos. It was wild.
Oh man. That's so sad.
I know. Can't let it go.
Can't let it go.
This is a hard question.
I know. I'm like blanking.
I let everything go. I don't want to think about it
something that's
anymore.
on your mind. Well, that Mammoth got approved today.
Yeah, I guess that's a cop out. That's an easy one for me. Can't let it go, or can let it go now. Yeah, I don't know. I have too many balls in the air. I'm sure I'm dropping half of them right now. So
can't let it go. I guess I'm really mad at my medical insurance right now. The fact that how much you pay every month on medical insurance, and then you still go to the doctor, and then you get bills you're like, why do I have insurance if I'm still paying this much? Yeah.
So something about the dentist. I went to the dentist and they sent something from 2023 to collections. And I was like, I have been in here every 6 months since 2023. You never wanted to mention that I owed a bill. And they were like, it's because the name changed. And it's like, they're always looking for shit to not approve you. I remember when I switched insurance, they denied it because they said I was on double insurance. I fought that for a year. Even if you have insurance, they still.
So you haven't let it go either, huh? Medical insurance.
Oh my goodness! I know, because I'm gonna have to deal with that next week. I let it go
too. I'm like, gosh, imagine that problem. Jeez,
right?
Insurance.
Hilary, do you want to actually do a can't let it go, or?
I genuinely am blanking on that question. Sorry, I am in the midst of it all right now. So I wake up in the middle of the night routinely thinking about all the things that I haven't done yet, but then I just have a panic attack and keep going. So
are you a list maker? Do you make lists?
Oh yeah. Well, they're all over my desk. I scrawl notes to myself and then I never read them again. But in the moment, it's like feels really good to write. Yeah. And so then and then one day I sit here and I read them and I rip them up when I realize I've done it all like months ago. But yeah, my life is chaos, but it's good chaos. And I so far am staying on top of it. So I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. No better answer there, but
that counts. That counts. Well, thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for letting Andrew bait y'all and then bailing on us.
I love it. And we'll see you at Western States. Kevin and I are on Team Gabe. He got in yesterday.
Oh, nice. He got in yesterday. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. There was like no movement on the wait list. And then all of a sudden, after training camp, what happened.
Yeah.
I saw a few people out there and I was like, ooh.
People that dropped that they're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I just think people that realize that it's not in the cards this year, whether it's an injury or like something, right? Like I think training camp is very revealing. Also, oh my God, I don't know if you're pacing, Izzy, but like the poison oak, man.
I'm doing Rucky Chucky.
Yeah, you're doing 2 Rucky Chucky?
No, I'm doing the Rucky Chucky. That's all I want to do. I'm just doing 2 miles.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm doing the last 6 too.
Okay.
8 miles.
All right.
I think I'm doing 2 Rucky Chucky, right?
Yeah. And
like Forest Hill.
I would hopefully go in a boat. I want to go in a boat if there's boats.
Yeah, no, it might be low enough that they just have the water crossing this year. I don't think it'll be high enough to use boats. But yeah, Kevin, the poison oak along Cal Street was epic. I got some despite wiping with all the Technu wipes and going into the shower with a jug of Dawn dish soap. And
oh my goodness, I have poison ivy from Cruel Jewel, like over, almost 2 weeks ago. And it's like finally starting to heal. And I'm like, it's not even going to heal. It's not even be gone before my next race. But that is like, I hate poison ivy.
Do yourselves and Gabe a favor and go pick up some of the Technu wipes and just have like all the wipes around and stay on it. But and I know they'll do more trail work out there, but yeah, the wipes are really good. You just have to cut the oil. It's the oil of the leaves. And there was just like a few miles where you couldn't avoid it. So, but not nearly as bad as Canyons. Canyons was worse, apparently.
If you get the pack of discs, they're also itch relief. Like I feel like it's been healing and taking the oil away. So that's something to consider. Well, thank y'all for coming on. When I stop this, if you'll stay on for like 30 seconds for it to load, I should have told y'all that from the beginning. And we always end this. I guess this is just me screaming happy endings.
Happy endings.